Have you ever felt like you're stuck in between? Like you're not who you used to be, but you're not fully who you know you're becoming yet? Like you're somewhere in the middle, and that middle feels uncomfortable, uncertain, and honestly, a little lonely. Nobody tells you that growth feels like that. Nobody tells you that becoming the person God created you to be is going to require you to let go of the person you've been holding on to. Nobody tells you that transformation isn't a moment, it's a process. And nobody tells you that some of your greatest growth is going to happen in seasons where nobody else can even see it. And that's the part that gets people. Because we want the breakthrough without the becoming. We want the result without the process. We want to arrive without having to walk through. But that's not how it works, is it? Growth doesn't happen to you. It happens in you. And that's what we're talking about today. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Walking It Out. I am your girl, Latrice Clark Jordan, and I am so glad you are here. If you've been with me since the beginning, thank you for continuing to show up week after week. And if this is your first time listening, welcome. You just walked into one of the most personal, most important conversations we are going to have on this podcast. Today we are talking about becoming. And y'all, this one is close to my heart because becoming is not just a topic for me. It's something I'm living right now. It's something I've been walking through, and I know so many of you are in the same season. Because here's the truth. Becoming affects everything. It affects how you see yourself. It affects how you show up in your marriage, if you're married, in your parenting, in your friendships, in your career, in your calling. It affects your relationship with God. And it affects the kind of woman you're going to be on the other side of this season. So today, I want to get real with you. I want to share some of my own story about what becoming has looked like for me in my marriage, in my identity, in my faith. I want to talk about why becoming is not a straight line. I want to talk about why the discomfort you're feeling right now might actually be evidence that something good is happening. And I want to talk about why you are not behind. You are unfolding right on time. Because here's what I need you to hear before we go any further. That this is the foundation of everything we're talking about today. God is not finished with you. The process you're in is not punishment. It's preparation. So grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your water, whatever you're sipping on, and today, let's walk this out together. So let me start by being honest about something, because I used to think that becoming was supposed to feel good. I used to think that if God was calling me into something new, it would feel exciting and clear and energizing. And all the time, I thought the path forward would feel obvious. But y'all, that is not what it feels like. What it felt like was confusion. What it felt like was grief, grieving a version of myself I had outgrown but was still holding on to. What it felt like was standing in a room with a door closing behind me and a door in front of me that hadn't opened yet. And y'all know what that is, right? That's the in-between space. That's one of the hardest places to stand. We've talked about this. And I think a lot of you know exactly what I'm talking about because you're in that place right now. Maybe you feel like the old version of you doesn't fit anymore, but you're not sure who the new version is yet. Maybe you're in a season that feels like it's taking too long. Maybe people around you don't understand why you've changed, and maybe you don't fully understand it yourself yet. I know you to know that is a sign that something is happening. Because here's the first thing I've learned about becoming. It requires surrender. You cannot become who you were meant to be while clinging to who you used to be. You have to let go. And I know that sounds simple, but y'all, letting go is hard, especially when what you're letting go of is familiar. Especially when you're letting go of is an identity you've built your whole life around. Especially when people around you are still comfortable with the old version of you and the new version makes them uncomfortable. But here's what I know. You cannot hold on to the old and step into the new at the same time. You cannot fill a cup that's already full. You cannot grow into a bigger version of yourself while squeezing yourself into a space you've already outgrown. Surrender is not defeat. Surrender is trust. It's saying, God, I don't fully understand what you're doing, but I trust where you're taking me. It's releasing your grip on who you were so you can receive who you're becoming. Now, here's the second thing I want to talk about, and this one is important. Growth feels uncomfortable. And I don't mean a little uncomfortable. I mean stretched, unsettled, out of place, not quite sure where you belong, uncomfortable. And for a long time, I interpreted that discomfort as a sign that I was doing something wrong. I thought if God was in it, it should feel peaceful. I thought if I was on the right path, it would feel easy. But y'all, that's not how growth works. Think about it physically. I'm going to help y'all today because it helped me, trust me. When your muscles grow, they have to be stretched and torn and rebuilt. That process is not comfortable. But the discomfort isn't damage, it's development. The discomfort is evidence that change is actually happening. And the same is true spiritually. When God is stretching you, when He's calling you into a new version of yourself, it's going to feel like growing pains. It's going to feel like things that used to fit don't fit anymore. It's going to feel like places you used to feel at home don't feel like home anymore. And that's okay. That's not a sign to stop. That's a sign to trust the process. Now, let's talk about something that I think gets overlooked. And it's one of the most important things I want you to hear today. Some of your greatest becoming happens in seasons where nobody else can see it. We live in a world where everything is public. Everything is documented. Everything is on display. And because of that, we've started to believe that if it's not visible, it's not valid. If nobody can see it, maybe it's not happening. If it's not producing results yet, maybe it's not working. But y'all, God does some of his best work in the hidden places. Think about a seed. Remember? You plant it in the ground and you cover it with dirt. For weeks, nothing looks like it's happening. Nothing looks like it's changing. But underneath the surface, roots are forming. Life is developing. Something is being built that will eventually break through the surface and grow into something you could not have imagined. And that's what hidden seasons are. They're root seasons. They're seasons where God is building something in you that is going to sustain everything he's about to bring through you. And they're uncomfortable because there's nothing to show for it yet. There's no fruit yet. There's no evidence yet. At least not the kind people can see. But don't despise the hidden season. Don't rush it. Don't rush out of it before the roots have grown deep enough. Because what God builds in the hidden places is what will hold you when things get hard. Okay, so now let's talk about something else, because I know some of you are sitting with this. Some of you are looking at your past, your mistakes, your failures, the choices you regret, the seasons you're not proud of, and you're wondering if any of that disqualifies you from becoming who you're meant to be. And I need you to hear me clearly. It does not. Your past is not a period at the end of your story. Your past is a part of the story. Every experience you've walked through, the painful ones, the embarrassing ones, the ones you wish you could undo, every single one of them shaped something in you. Every single one of them has given you wisdom, empathy, resilience, or perspective that somebody else is going to need. You are not disqualified by your past. You are being prepared by it. And let's be clear, if you were disqualified by your past, half the New Testament in the Bible would not exist. I'm talking about Paul, who was Saul, who was killing Christians, and the good Lord met him on the road to Damascus and changed his life. And he became one of God's greatest apostles and wrote most of the New Testament in the Bible. But I digress. I know that can be hard to believe what I just said. Like, you're not disqualified by your past. You're being prepared by it. I know that can be hard to believe when you're still carrying shame or regret. But here's what I want you to know. God wastes nothing. He is a redeemer. He takes what the enemy meant for harm and he turns it into something that serves his purpose. He takes your broken places and builds something beautiful out of them. You are not too far gone. You are not too late. You are not too much or too little. You are exactly who God is working with right now. And he is not done. Because if he was done, you'll be meeting him on the other side. And here's the last thing I want to say about becoming. This might be the most freeing thing you'll hear today. Becoming is not a destination. It's a direction. You are never going to arrive at a finished version of yourself this side of eternity. This is always going to be another layer. There's always going to be another layer. There's always going to be another area where God is developing you, refining you, calling you deeper. And that is not a problem. That is the point. We put so much pressure on ourselves to have it all figured out, to be fully healed, to be fully formed, to have it all together. But y'all, that's not the goal. The goal is faithfulness. The goal is surrender. The goal is taking one step at a time in the direction God is calling you. Even when you can't see the full picture, you're not behind and you're not too slow. You're not failing because you haven't fully arrived yet. You are unfolding in divine timing. And God, who started this good work in you, is faithful to complete it. So stop measuring your becoming against someone else's. Stop comparing your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 10. Stop looking at where you are and deciding it means you're not going to get where you're supposed to be. Again, you are exactly where you need to be, and you are becoming right now in this moment with every step you take. So let me give you some practical steps, because I know some of you are sitting with this and thinking, okay, this all sounds good, but what do I actually do? How do I lean into becoming instead of resisting it? First, get honest about what you're holding on to. Where are you clinging to an old identity, an old pattern, an old version of yourself that no longer fits? Name it. Bring it into the light. You cannot surrender what you won't acknowledge. Second, reframe the discomfort. The next time you feel stretched or unsettled or out of place, instead of asking God to take it away, ask Him what He's built. Instead of resisting the discomfort, ask, what is this teaching me? What is this developing in me? Third, protect your hidden season. Not every part of your becoming needs to be shared publicly. And when I tell you, I'm figuring that out right now. I'm figuring that out right now. Not every seed needs an audience. Give yourself permission to grow in private. Give God room to work in you before you perform for everyone else. Fourth, release your timeline. Stop putting a deadline on your becoming. Stop deciding that because it hasn't happened yet, it's not going to happen. Trust that God's timing is better than your timeline. Trust that He is working even when you can't see it. And y'all, when I tell you I'm walking this thing out with you, I am walking this thing out with you. Because everything that I'm saying, I'm living right now. And lastly, take one step. Just one. You don't have to have the whole path figured out. You just have to take the next step. Say yes to the thing God is putting in front of you. Have the conversation you've been avoiding. Start the thing you've been postponing. Take one step and trust God with the rest. And y'all, I want to tell you, it is worth it. The becoming is worth it. I know the process is hard. I know the in-between feels uncertain. I know it takes courage to let go of who you've been and trust who you're becoming. But I have seen what happens on the other side of that surrender. And it is worth every uncomfortable, stretching, growing season you walk through. You will not recognize who you were. Not because you've forgotten, but because you've grown. You will look back at this season, this hard, in-between, I don't know who I am season, and you will be grateful for it. Because it's the season that made you. It's the season that built the roots. It's the season where God did the quiet, deep, necessary work that everything else in your life is going to stand on. So don't give up. Don't rush out of the process. Don't let the discomfort convince you that you're going in the wrong direction. Keep walking. Keep surrendering. Keep trusting, because you are becoming. And who you are becoming is worth the journey. So before we wrap up today, I want to leave you with something to sit with this week. I want you to ask yourself, what version of myself is God inviting me to grow into this season? Not the version everyone else wants you to be. Not the version you used to be. Not the version that feels safe or comfortable or familiar. The version God is calling you into. The one that requires surrender. The one that requires trust. The one that requires you to keep walking, even when you can't see the whole path. And I want you to take one step this week towards that version of yourself. Maybe that's letting go of something you've been holding on to too long. Maybe that's saying yes to something that scares you. Maybe that's giving yourself permission to be in process without having all the answers. Whatever it is, take one step. Because becoming doesn't happen all at once. It happens once, one courageous step at a time. And you have everything you need to take the next step today. Becoming is not about perfection. It's about trusting the process enough to keep walking, even when you can't yet see the full version of who you're becoming. I want to leave you with a scripture before we wrap up today. Ecclesiastes 3:11. He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the human heart. Yet no one can fathom what God has done from beginning to end. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for walking this out with me. I appreciate every single one of you for showing up, for listening, for being a part of this community. And remember, you are not finished. You are not behind. You are not disqualified. You are becoming.